Hey, bro.
All right, guys. So this is our inaugural weekly bromance session. We don't really have a name for it yet. I kind of proposed long-range bromance because really everybody's in different parts of the
Wait,
state.
I need
But
some makeup.
that may, yeah, I'm not sure it's going to stick. So tonight we're going to talk about um, what. Tonight we're going to talk about Brawler Bash 7. All of us went. We're going to talk about what we thought about it, our thoughts, and then we're going to do some thoughts moving forward. So it's just going to be kind of like a round table discussion thing going on. So, Landon, I guess I'll start with you. That's Landon.
What's up?
All right. Landon, how did you do overall, or how did you do both overall and win-loss like record?
I believe my overall spot was 44th, and I think my win-loss record was I had two draws. I think no, I think I went 1, 1, and 3. I believe I actually had 3 draws when I went back and went over the numbers again. So that's interesting.
Very nice. Um, as far as your paint scores or your sportsmanship scores, do you have any inkling of what that did to your overall? Did it push you up or push you down or anything?
My painting and sportsmanship were pretty much middle of the pack. I think my sportsmanship was a little bit higher, but I got a 4750 on painting, which is I think is what the average paint score is, like to the number.
All right.
So
Very
it didn't
cool.
help me or hurt me.
Jody, next up, how did you do?
I think overall, with all the combined scores, I got 58. Um, so, yeah, 2 decisive wins, 3 losses, 1 absolutely horrendous loss. Um, as far as the scores, painting killed me. It really killed me. Only having the bare minimum only got me like 20 something hundred. If I would have gotten another, 2,000 and been close to 5,000 like Landon was, I would have ended like 39th overall. So those 2,000 points were crucial in my overall score.
Okay. Dallas, how about yourself?
All right. Well, overall, I won 3 games. I lost one, which was the first game, and it was a horrible defeat. And the last game was a draw. I won by base victory points, but my opponent came out slightly ahead if you went with adding in some of the objectives and stuff in there. So overall, a winning record. So I was thrilled with that. My overall placement was horrible. I ended up 84th, I think. And
83rd. You were 83rd.
83rd? Okay. 83rd. I'll take that. It's a gentleman's 83rd. And that was because my paint score was horrible, absolutely atrocious, because I decided to take a list that I didn't have all the models for, and so I didn't have everything painted. And so that just killed me. But I was kind of expecting that. So overall, if my battle points were involved, I was around middle of the pack for that. But the other two, sportsmanship also, apparently I'm a horrible, horrible, horrible player. So um,
Do you remember what your sportsmanship was? I'm a little interested since I'm the other person that got crappy sportsmanship on the
um,
team.
it was like 4,400,
It was 48.
48.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's better than me. High five. You're not worst.
But yeah, and I guess if we talk about it, I can go into more details on the whole sportsmanship score, which is probably my only real gripe with Brawler Bash as a whole.
Yeah, I think there's a question for that, so we can come back.
Okay.
Yoshi, are you still there?
He's gone.
He is gone. All right. I'll answer, and then I'll also try to get him back in here. As far as my overall placement, I was top bromancer somehow. I finished with just over 16,000 battle points, and I had 4 wins and a loss. so that was pretty excellent. But my sportsmanship dropped me down pretty high. Also, not getting but 1,700 victory points on game 5. That's just not enough. I mean, I think that if I had got an extra 1,000 victory points on game 5, I actually would have been best orc and goblin. I don't know that that's true without looking at the numbers, but it was something like that. And then swordsmanship didn't help me. I got like 4,200 or something like that. But it is what it is. People have seen my videos that I've posted, so there's that. Yoshi, about you, how'd you finish both overall and win, lose, draw?
What did I get, like 52nd out of 92 people? My paint scores were above average, maybe just average. I don't know what the top paint score was. My main man, Obeezy, didn't like paint scores this year. But as far as the W's, I only got 1, and I lost 4.
Unfortunate. So, and then I should mention on that.
Were I to revamp my list, what I have now, I think I would have done a little better.
That's fair. I was gonna say, we should mention that one of our bromancers' first tournament. How long has Joey been playing, Landon?
I think a little bit less than a year, but
yeah,
he really only has about 4 or 5 games under his belt, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so he came to Brawler Bash and finished 0-5.
Wow, brave.
Got the prize for worst player, and he got a plaque. He got some prizes, and gets to come for free next year, and hopefully not get last place. And then the other bromancer who's not on here, Chris, who is related to Landon, got best sports, which I thought was also awesome, and he apparently stole all of the sportsmanship scores from Dallas and I. That's what I'm going to say. So second question. Again, we're talking about Brawler Bash 7. Landon, we'll start with you again. What was the toughest list you faced, and what made it so tough?
Well, I actually have it right here. I played a demon list, a Warrior of Chaos list with a demon prince, and it was just, kind of pretty much by the numbers. The demon prince was super hard to kill. It had the unkillable BSB, chariot core, all the bells and whistles, and I think I ended up pulling a draw out, but like I pulled 3 draws out just out of the end of the tournament. But it was just he was hard to get points off of, and I was hard to get points off of too. So I think going into that game, I was like, we're both going to get 1,500 victory points. It's going to be a tie, and neither one of us are going to profit from this. So let's just try to endure it.
All right, Jody, what about you?
That's a real tough question. I think on paper the toughest list that I faced was the Empire list. It was a Light Council, being demons, but he had poor luck, and I pretty much cleaned up. I got really lucky. His steam tank failed 3 times to get into my skull cannon about 10 inches away, and so I was able to mop up. He was a good player. It was fun. So I think because of that, I have to default to the Lizardmen list I played first round. It had 3 slons in it. There's nothing I can do to stop his magic.
It had three slons?
3 slons.
Wait, I think in 2 slons and Teto Echo.
Yes. To be fair, yes. 2 slons and Teto Echo, but I counted as 3 slons.
Oh, I got that guy. I got that guy third game.
Yep. I mean, he was fun to play against. Just, I could do nothing. He pit shades me, and 12 dice against 6 every round. There's nothing I can do. No dispel scroll. So.
Oh, yeah. Ouch.
Yeah.
That's what hurt me the most.
Dallas, what about yourself, sir?
Probably on paper was probably the Warriors of Chaos list I played 4th game, but against me was actually Casey Cronin, who I played multiple times, a couple times at Gigabytes. I played first round. His Warriors of Chaos list, which was It had Throg in it. It had Galrock, the dragon special character. So his core was like 2 blocks of Chaos Trolls. He had some chariots and some skull crushers and all of that. But it was just the big hitch in my list was no answers for regen saves, and going up against that list with 2 blocks of trolls in the core, I had nothing to deal with it. I couldn't get enough wounds through.
I understand. And Yoshi, what about you? What was your toughest matchup, and what made it so difficult?
Well, I would have to say, man, Landon's dwarves were pretty hard because I've never played the dwarves one-on-one, and they just chopped through my outnumbered the Iron Breakers 2-1, and you cut them down. I lost combat. The other surprise was the Bretonian player, but that was just me rolling poorly on my stuff that does no armor saves. He was a surprise to play against, but the 2 Empire players were simple. Their lists were kind of the same. They're just better dice rolling on one half than the other. My cannons couldn't shoot down like a griffin. Oh man, how embarrassing. But definitely the dwarves. I told Nick from Long Island, it was like his last opponent was dwarves too, and it was like, don't get into combat, just don't do it. With the hatred and the +1 strength, it just gets brutal.
Okay, dwarves are metal. Got it.
Yeah.
So, as far as my games, and I think that we should actually mention this real quick since we're talking about Brawler Bash. I don't think that we did it. I played Orcs and Goblins. Landon played Dwarves. Jody played Demons. Dallas played Lizardmen, and Yoshi played Skaven. Just so you understand our perspectives, I don't think that anybody except for Jody actually mentioned what army he played, and that's just a failing on my part to introduce us that way.
Fail, Matt.
I'm just such a bad person. That's why my sportsmanship was so low. See, it's stuff like that. Probably the hardest list that I had to face was honestly my round 4 opponent, who ran the Goblin Death Star with a billion D characters and a billion D war machines, was really difficult. He's really, really confident in himself, and that many shots, that many war machine hits, all of that, like he had 10 levels of magic, so he had all of the spells he wanted. He was really, really good at controlling where I could go, and so I couldn't actually get into his huge thing until like the 5th round, and I was just never going to break steadfast on it, no matter that it was the savages in the flank. I mean, I was just never, ever going to do that. So anyway, he was tough. I fought a lot of really enjoyable opponents that were difficult, but he was probably the toughest for my list just because he was able to just whittle down Grimgor's unit to like 5 people before they got into combat, and so that was just not going to go well. So next, I wanted to ask, what was one thing that you wish you had fit into your list, and why? So, Landon, what's one thing you wish you had fit into your dwarf list?
That's kind of a tough question. Probably a 4th gyrocopter. Those little jerks just did work. I mean, they always got their points back. Opponents with low toughness just flipped out whenever they moved towards them, and they're just great. They're just great. For their points, they're the best thing in the dwarf book. No questions.
All right, excellent. Jody, yourself?
I think a level 2 of some kind, whether it was my VSB who was a level 2 or another Herald that was a level 2. I found a lot of games, excuse me, the extra channel would have been nice, and when my general for 3 of my 5 games either got sucked into the void or died due to double ones on the Winds of Magic phase, it would have been nice to have an extra +2 to dispel and another +2 just to cast.
Got it. Dallas.
Well, from my the previous answer, kind of gives it away. It was definitely the flaming banner. Um, I was scared to do that just because I felt the possibility of facing either possibly dragon princes or dragon gem, dragon helm, all that, and just kill one of my units from not being able to do anything the whole game. But I never did face anyone that had that, and the first game especially, and then the last game, the flaming would have came in super handy, far more than which I put on my. Had a Scarvet BSB that had the Skaven Pelt banner because I was putting him in a huge block of Temple Guard, and with the lights on it, that was kind of my plan. But the extra attacks never were all that needed, as I was usually winning combat by enough anyway. So the possibility of having those flaming attacks would have really been clutch in two of the games.
All right, that makes sense. Yoshi?
Death Star of characters.
Really?
My strength 4 was just not enough, and if I would have just equipped some chieftains with halberds, it would have mulched through a lot more. I don't know, some dwarf armor, some empire armor. It just would have added a little umph, and if they died, I still would have had the block to secure points. They're 2 wounds each. I mean, 5 weapon skill than average troopers. And the Fellblade. I think at Bash, the Fellblade should have came. I had a guy on a pocket rat, and he was cool, and he did kill a steam tank, so he did his job, but, I mean, with straight 10, it just would have been like 2 swipes, and then D6 wounds would have won the day even sooner.
I understand. That makes sense. For me, it's hard to say. With a good record and some big wins, it's hard to say, oh, well, I would have done this different. I really kind of wish I had some more chaff. Like, I really wish that I had more fanatics, maybe, some more wolf riders. I don't know what I would have given up to get them, but I had a couple games where I actually didn't win the chaff war, which I thought was really interesting, and that was actually why I ended up losing the game, I think, against vampires. Well, that and not being able to hit when I was denying him lookout sirs. But the more chaff, really, the vampires really just took it out of me, and that was what I felt was my biggest weakness. Well, that and then Ken, who I played in round 4, shot all my chaff off the board and laughed at me while I wept openly. All right. The next question: what was your favorite moment at Brawler Bash?
It's going to me.
Yes, you're first, sir.
Well, I did enjoy playing Yoshi in a competitive environment. We both knew our army, and it was enjoyable. I don't really think anything super one-sided happened in our game. I would have to say, I think it was game 1. I was playing a Lizardman list, and he had the Ethereal Slan, just like nearly unkillable. But he went into the void. So that was just like an instant. He miscast on 2 dice, went into the warp, and I just got like 400 or 500 points, boom, for free. So I was pretty happy with that. Though I did kind of feel bad for my opponent, but it happens.
That's fair. I actually beat that guy up in game 2 just because he had terrible luck versus me as well. So.
You know what? What's really sad is I think he actually came out and beat me, I think, at the end of that game, which is really sad.
Ouch. Jody, what was your favorite moment, bud? Was it one of the times your general dimensional cascaded, or?
No, I have to say it's not one of those times. I actually think my favorite moment was when I charged my 35 Plague Bearers through 2, what are they called? Mangler Squigs, to get into his horde, Grimgore's horde. I don't know, I think it really brought out the spirit of Brawler Bash. Just who cares? Just do it. And that was just a lot of fun. Just taking that chance, taking that risk. Didn't pay off.
Oh, okay. I was just about to ask how that went for you.
Something else should have happened. My Beast of Nurgle should have cleaned up his Savages quicker, and then been able to flank Grimgor, and it didn't happen. To their credit, my Plague Bearers lasted, I think, 6 rounds of combat, 3 full turns. I lost about 1 model a turn. So,
wow,
kudos
crazy. Dallas, what about you, man?
Probably the best was my game 4, which was against another Warriors list, which was an absolutely gorgeously painted Warriors list. And they had a block of 8 Skull Crushers with a BSB in there with it. And my initial goal was, because the BSB had flaming attacks, I was going to get my Scarvet into the block and hold it up, and just keep challenging until I got to the BSB. If I could kill the champion, I could get to him, and then my Scarvet that I sent into him had the 2-up versus flaming and 1-up rerollable. So I felt like I was just going to hold that up all day until I decided I wanted to get into the combat. Well, the stupid champion killed my Scarvet, or actually broke it in combat because I couldn't get enough wounds through, and charged me down. But it was so far close to me that I was just scared, because it was next turn it was going to come into my Temple Guard, and I was just going to have just a horrible day. But luckily, I got it to because they had Frenzy. I think they had a Frenzy banner or something like that. I put one of my Salamanders up, had them charge the Salamanders and overrun, and so I got a flank charge on them, and with my Temple Guard, and completely wiped them out, and caught them when they fled. So I was just thrilled, because I was just scared to death of that 8 Skull Crushers and BSB coming down on me. Oh.
That's a crazy unit.
Yeah. But it also felt nice that, Frenzy, which is what was kind of throwing me for a loop with the Skavenpelt banner, I was finally able to use it against somebody.
Nice. Well, you have that problem anyway, because your Saurus have to chase unless a skink slaps him on the hand and says no.
I know.
The Slan's not good enough. He's too busy contemplating things, but so the skink has to slap him and tell him they're doing something wrong. Yoshi, what was your favorite moment in Brawler Bash? Nothing? I think we may have lost him. So, I'll go on. My favorite moment in Brawler Bash was in Game 4. I charged in with the Immortals into this giant horde. There's 93 Night Goblins, probably 17 characters in this unit. I charged Grimgor's unit in. There's like 19 of them. I'm an inch and a half out, and we realize that they still get a stand and shoot because my movement is 1, and so the extra half inch allows them to shoot. I've been Itchy Nuisance down by like 1 billion, and so I charge in, and there's like 4 Immortals left, and then Grimgor, and I kill like 3 characters that round, and of course everybody dies except for Grimgor, who sticks, and then Grimgor sticks for a couple more rounds, just beating characters left and right. I mean, he's just slaughtering these poor Night Goblins, and I got so many points, because that scenario was actually you get points for killing characters, and so I got so many points just from slaughtering characters. It was hilarious. So that's me. I'm going to try and get Yoshi back here real quick and ask him, but I hold no illusions.
And Matt, I got about one more good question before I need to bail.
All right, I actually only have 2 questions left, so
okay.
If you want to hang.
Okay.
How did you feel about the tournament as a whole? Like the Carnage scoring system, the paint scores, the sportsmanship scores, yes, no, did you have a problem with it? I know Dallas has some issue maybe with the sportsmanship, but What about you, Landon?
Well, I'll try to be as quick as possible. Overall, I think it was fantastic. It was very well ran, very well organized. I mean, almost 100 people there. Uh, I think a lot of the scenarios repeat the whole kill characters and get fortitude places kind of objectives, and I feel like those happened a lot between the cards and the 5 different scenarios. So I kind of got a little tired of that, especially since I'm dwarves. I'm just not going to get my fortitude into those areas, and I'm not going to get to the characters I need to kill. You can avoid me if you want to. So I was at a really big disadvantage on all those. But I also think a lot of people got hit really hard for having like one unpainted model. Like Chris had one partially unpainted model, and he had a rock bottom painting score. So that was really disappointing. I think they were really harsh on the painting. But other than that, I'm really nitpicking. I think it was great. I wouldn't change a whole lot about it. It was super fun, and I think most people there had a great time.
All right, Jody, what about yourself?
Well, Landon, if you want to answer the last question real quick, so then you can jump off. That way we can get all your questions in. I don't want to disrupt your flow, though, Matt, if you want to keep going round robin.
I don't really have a preference. I didn't know whether, but I'll ask Landon. Landon, going forward, what's your list look like what are you doing going forward? Like, are you sticking with dwarves but with some changes? Like, what's the deal?
I will be retiring the dwarves for the foreseeable future. I think dwarves are good. It's maybe not in the Carnage system where go get victory points. I just can't do that. Dwarves play for play defensively. They're really better on the 20-0 system where they can get a couple of points and then deny you the rest of the points and get 12-8s and 13-7. That's what dwarves are great at. But mostly dwarves are boring, and I love dwarves, but very limited movement and no magic and infantry and war machines. I kind of get tired of them. They're fun to go to when you want something really reliable, but I'm gonna have to say that as far as wood elves, I'm gonna jump on them and play them for a while. I mean, they have every movement. They're maybe not that great, but they have every phase covered. They're fun to play and they do crazy things. So I think the dwarves will sit down for a little while.
Okay. Jody, what about you? What was how'd you feel about the tournament as a whole, and then what are you doing going forward?
As a whole, I had a ton of fun this year. I didn't go to Brawler last year. I went to GrowQuest last year, but I felt my opponents were a lot. Like, the sportsmanship was really tough. There were 3 or 4 people that I didn't know how to rate them. They were all really good opponents. One guy, pretty much gave me his general at the end of the game because my luck was so poor. It was just fun. Like, they made the games fun. Even the Lizardman player that I had issue with last year at GrowQuest, this year was a ton of fun to play against. Again, really good sport. So I think if I had to complain about anything or really change anything, I would say at the end for the results, the overall results, I liked that they did overall, but I wish they would have put out, minus painting and minus sportsman results too. And the only reason is for those of us who don't have the time to really invest in painting. Overall, you're going to get docked, but I guess I feel like I may have lost 3 games, but I got tons of points. So, overall, I did a lot better than my final ranking showed, and I wish that would have been better represented. Moving forward, I'll probably play 1 or 2 more games of Demons, some smaller point values, and that'll be coming up this weekend. Dallas and I have some plans for some bat reps and some other stuff that is going to be announced. But after that, I'm going to go back to High Elves. Now that I have 2 armies, looking back at High Elves, there's a few list styles I wanted to play, a few different things I wanted to try out. So I'm looking forward to doing that, and I'm going to miss the durability, but I'm looking forward to the versatility of High Elves.
Very cool. Dallas, what about you, man?
Okay. I guess it seems like we're sort of answering both questions here today.
Yeah.
As far as the Brawler Bash, I loved it. It was an absolutely fun time. Um, I'm my play style is much more defensively, all the anytime anyway. So the Carnage system, I have no beef with it at all. It's just not something that plays to my particular style of play that well. So I mean, I basically won 3, possibly 4, depending on how you look at it, of my games, and still, because of the Carnage system, ended up very kind of middle of the pack, low on battle points. But that's just and I think it's great that there's that sort of tournament out there that awards just going and having fun and killing everything. It's just not to my only real beef was with the sportsmanship, and just to go over it, basically at the end of the game, after the last game, we were given a sheet and we were to rank our opponents 1 to 5 from the one we enjoyed playing the most to the one we enjoyed playing the least. And that was tallied up, and you got a sportsmanship score. I think that went from like 4,000 to 7,500 or something like that, based on how many fives you got, which was the worst, compared to how many ones and so forth. So, 4,400, 4,800 is pretty low on there, and I don't think it's obviously because I was ranked low on each person's, which is fine. But I don't think it was necessarily because I was a jerk to anyone. I felt like I was very gracious to them and was a nice player. It's just my personality is not like that super friendly, gung ho with someone I've just met, and so I think that penalized me a lot in the sportsmanship. I think, in my opinion, I think the best way to handle it would have been to have maybe at the end you pick your favorite 2 opponents, or maybe favorite 3, and then list if there's anybody that you would not play again because they were a poor sport, and I think that would have given people a baseline score, and then some people a little bit higher based on if they were the favorite or second favorite. But it would not have penalized people that are good sportsmen, just aren't super outgoing, friendly. But going forward, I'm going to be giving the Lizardmen a break. I'm going to start working on my Bretonnian army. I've got most of it. I just need to get a few more things of knights and some bits for the theme that I'm going with. But I also, while at Brawler Bash, bought some dwarves, so I'm going to get those going. But my goal is Brett's at Grail Quest.
All right. Maybe they'll have a new book by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Yoshi, the question is.
It's a lot to paint, man.
What's that? Oh, he has a lot to paint.
Oh. Well, the Bretts are going to be painted first. The dwarves may just stay unpainted for a while, so they'll roll sucky until I get to them.
Nah, in my experience, as soon as you paint a model, it is then going to roll crappily for you for at least a game or two while it gets used to it. It's like, I didn't want to be this color. I don't know. Yoshi, our questions are, how'd you feel about the tournament as a whole, like the Carnage scoring system, the way they did paint score, sportsmanship score, all that stuff, even pairing if you want. And then the second question is, what's your list going to look like, or what are you going to do Warhammer related going forward from Brawler Bash?
I like the Carnage system. It helps people get out of their shell of gaming. Like, they just score a couple points and call that a win. Paid score, sportsman. I mean, it's hard to the skew between beautifully painted armies, average, and 3-color minimum. I wouldn't want that job to grade someone on. They kind of did an okay job, but not a great job. I don't know how the middle line is when you have a whole bunch of people coming out with just beautiful armies.
Right.
Moving forward, still gotta win a game because if one, I just need like some 1, 2, or 3 to get some tournament money to start up a new army because that's my goal, to not pay for any more models. Hopefully,
Okay.
I like to hope that Bretonia comes out and it's better than Lizardman. No offense to Lizardman, but your book's kind of awful. And I hope Bretonians make Lizardmen stick to their stomach like Dark Elves do. But if that doesn't happen, I might swear my allegiance to the Witch King, because that army's pretty swank. So many different ways to play it, unlike most armies. Just gotta come out with a good team. I don't know what would be a good team, because Matt, you already got the Cult of Slanesh.
Dang
I
straight.
don't know if I'd go with that Amazonians, like I was thinking of the Wood Elves, if I was going to do that route. But I'll have to wait till Lynn plays the Wood Elves a couple more times to see how they actually play, or anyone else on the web for that matter.
Yeah, not a lot of Wood Elf reports really. Maybe I think Landon actually is going to put a report up of Wood Elves that they played last night, so maybe we'll actually get some action going on. He's putting the finishing touches on. It'll be his first one, so everybody has to be nice to him about it.
Sucks.
Landon, this is the Lizardman of battle reports. That's right, Dallas. I'm picking on your army.
You know what?
Because-
They're still better than Tomb King.
We're better than
Oh,
Better than Tomb Kings, I'll give you that.
I'm not
You
sure
can
that they're
march.
better than Beastmen. I'm not sure I can sign on with that one.
Ooh, come on. Beastmen don't have cowboys.
Oh,
Doesn't
that's
matter.
true.
They have Minotaurs.
They have the Doom
They
Bowl.
have-
Come on,
They
man.
have the Doom Wheel.
Well,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
We can smack talk here after. I'll answer some questions, and then I'm sure that Dallas will want to slap me a little bit for this. So as far as how I felt at the tournament, about the tournament as a whole, I echo kind of what other people are saying. I like the Carnage system. It gets me out of my shell of I have to win by 100 victory points. Let me save points. The downside to that is that then I have to learn how to play that, and if you watch my reports, I kind of like slowly get to that point, but I don't really start off the tournament thinking, well, as long as I win, as long as I get points, that's fine. I start off the tournament like, well, oh God, if he kills this, I'm just going to lose, and I'm not going to get any points. So I have to find that balance. That's a little difficult. But I like what they do up in the mid-Atlantic area. I guess North Carolina, Virginia is like the big where they're doing all this, the Southern assault circuit or whatever. They have different ways of scoring it. Like Grail Quest is 20-0. This is Carnage system. I really like that they do things differently. Like I really like that there's the different ways of scoring so that you can go to whatever event kind of suits your play style or whatever event you want to go to. Because it's enjoyable. I actually really like Brawler Bash, even though I'm not always all 100% in, because most of the people are 100% in the spirit of Brawler Bash or pretty close, and so there's really enjoyable games even if you're losing, and so I enjoyed that again this second year. I didn't have a problem with the paint scores or the sports scores, but I see what everybody else is saying about that, and I can understand. My paint score was pretty average. It was like 4750. It's pretty flat line. And my sports was low, and I may have earned that one. I had one tough call with my round 3 opponent, and then I kind of called my round 5 opponent out, and I was trying to be really nice and gracious about it, but I still did call him out. And so, maybe I earned it, and that's fine. I'm working on sportsmanship. And then as far as lists going forward, I'm actually playing Dark Elves. I've put some reports up where I was testing a Light Council Monster Mash list. I'm doing some tweaks to that. I painted a Hydra recently so I can get all of the unpainted stuff out. I've bought models. I should have almost all of my models finished, like at least done this week, so that'll be enjoyable. So I can actually not proxy. That'll be nice. I actually bought some models from Ant at the Sustainable Center, and I give that a thumbs up. That's got my seal of approval. which I will recant if somehow they get lost in the mail or something, but that won't really be his fault. But I'll just do it. I'll just do it because I'm a D-bag and I got shitty sports scores, and that's what I do. So Dallas, defend your book to me.
Wait, you're expecting me to defend my book?
Yeah, I want you to say that lizardmen are better than beastmen. I want you to sell this to me.
Why aren't they better than beastmen?
Because, okay, name me a second way to play lizardmen.
Well, you got the skink cloud, which seems to be, most people say, is the competitive.
Okay, no, I'm on board. I'm on board.
I actually think there's the Cold One bus with Teto Echo. You can do the big blocks of Temple Guard. My mind's blanking on anything else. Cowboys, we got Cowboys.
Okay, so I'm on board. You've got about 4 decent, decent-ish builds. The big one for me is that beastmen have like 2.5 different builds. They have the Herdstone spam list with the Doom Bowl, which is like the slightly different than the Herdstone spam list that doesn't run the Doom Bowl, but instead runs the Great Bray Shaman with like Lore of Beasts or Lore of the Wild, or I think it's Beast, and then he like Savage Beast himself, and he has like the Jaded Dagger and the Fencer's Blades, and he just starts beating people in the face. So you pick your poison, whether you want the guy in the unit or the Doom Bowl that wrecks things without magical support. And then the second list is the all Cav list, like all the Cav, all the monsters. It's essentially what I'm running with Dark Elves, only it's Beastmen, so they're worse because, come on, Dark Elves. But yeah, I guess for me the Beastmen thing is I feel like they do magic better than the Lizardmen because the Salon really got hit pretty hard, and their core troops are not better, but they're cheaper. I feel like they're probably about as good like stat and cost wise, and then I feel like they may have better support options except for the monsters because let's be honest, the Beastmen monsters are terrible.
Yeah, they are.
Have you looked at the Lizardmen monsters? Come on.
I have, and I will forever, ever, ever mock the fact that the Carnosaur is 210 points and the Charybdis is 160 and has higher weapon skill, more attacks, higher initiative, and is cheaper and doesn't have to be ridden by a Saurus.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm pretty racist towards the Lizardmen book. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm almost there with you. I mean, we got Cowboys and Teto Echo. That's about it.
Dude, Teto Echo, that guy, I like him.
He's awesome.
What about you, Jody? Where are you at on Beastmen, Lizardmen?
Ooh, Beastmen were gonna be my second army. So I actually have a real soft spot for Minotaurs. I think that like a horde of Minotaurs would just be so much fun to play. It's actually not that great, but it's a lot of fun. I also like some of the other builds for Beastmen. I think Lizardmen, I can't believe I'm going to say this, have more versatility. And I think that camo skinks and skinks with poison. That, to me, is what puts them over the edge of Beastmen, because Beastmen have no legit way of killing demon princes and monsters. I mean, you just poison the crap out of stuff with Lizardmen, and it's like, I'm scared of it. I hate poison. I hate it, and the Lizards do it really well. Also, sharpened horns, if you get them on the charge, Stags can wreck.
That's fair, yeah, I see that. Yoshi, I know how much you hate Beastmen, but do you hate Lizardmen more than you hate Beastmen?
I hate those filthy monkeys. Nah, Lizardmen got it going on compared to Beastmen. Like Jody said, the Skink Cloud, the ballistic skill shooting alone, even if the bolt thrower on the Stag is all get at what the Beastmen have, and there's just not much to do. And me and you, we're on board with the no Slan Lizardman army, and I think that can work pretty well. Because
Yeah.
we've seen all those magical builds, and you stomped it, and Landon almost crushed the Bastodon. It's a cute little pocket monster.
It's so cheap, and for what it does, it's worth it.
And I don't know, it's they got more rules. Yeah. It lets your lizardmen go faster than ogres, orcs, beastmen, same speed as humans, so it gives you a slight advantage, but it's useless against elves or warriors.
It lets our temple guard go the same as humans and ogres.
It lets the Saurus go the same as ogres and orcs. So you're giving the lizardmen too much credit here, Yoshi.
And demons, too.
I really wish that they stacked. Like, I really wish that the Bastillodon thing stacked. Because oh no, the Temple Guard are Initiative 4. Warhammer is so broken.
Another actually viable book. Oh.
Like, okay, oh my gosh, so you spend 450 points and your Temple Guard are Initiative 5. So they're Chaos Warriors, and you've paid more for them. Oh god, Warhammer is over.
Actually,
I've seen it.
If you could do that and stack them, 3 Bastillodons, you definitely don't need a Slan then. You got 3 mages right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all for at least 2 Bastillodons anyway.
Yeah.
I'm all for them because I really think like Teto Echo and like maybe level 1 Skinks or something, with whatever lore you want, whether you want to double up on Ice Shard or double up on Wild Form or whatever. Maybe level 2. I know that Dallas doesn't really like level 1s casting Wild Form, and I get that. But I feel like Teto Echo plus 2 is plenty. You've got all of the lore of Heavens and whatever beasts, you could hit Bisons twice or whatever, and then you have the Bastillodon spells. So I don't know. For me, that's legit. And probably costs about as much as a single Slan.
Now, my only issue is I think with Bastillodon is he's a little high costed for what he does. I mean, especially his stat line is. I think if he had stubborn, like if he was actually stubborn, which seems to make sense. I mean, he's a giant, shell basically. 2-up armor, he'd be all right. I mean, you could definitely have some uses for him, but he's a little too high costed, like most of the things in the Lizardman book. There's always that chance you roll a 1 and you do, D3 strength 3 hits, and you just wasted those dice.
Right. I don't know whether this is true, but especially if Teto Echo lets you reroll 1s for the Bastillodon as well.
It says for wizards, so I don't think it.
Oh, okay. The one thing I read about that people are doing, I guess, is they're turning their Bastillodon around so they can get the strength 10 hit, like they're combat reforming backwards to get this, because they has like a strength 10 hit to the back, right? Because of his giant.
It gets it anyway. It just gets +1 to hit if it's in the rear.
Oh, but yeah, I definitely have heard of people turning their Bastillodons around, and I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, the only issue is the solar beam is a magic missile, so you wouldn't get that shot.
Yeah, I think they're doing it like when they get in combat, they're combat reforming around. So I don't know. Your mileage may vary, obviously. I heard about it and it tickled me. So Jody, what are you going to try for High Elves?
There's a couple things I want to do. One, I want to make a Death Star with Tyrion.
A High Elf Death Star. Say it isn't so.
At first I was going to do Dragon Princes, but the more I think about it, the more I think, well, if I got Tyrion in there, he's already got a 4-up. I'm going to have a Prince in the front line who's got a 4-up. I'm going to have a Noble in the front line who's got a 6-up, 1-up rerollable armor, and then I got full command. So not a Prince, sorry, 2 Nobles in the front plus my command. So I mean, I'm sitting pretty for survivability, so I'll probably go with Silver Helms I think DPs are better, but Silverhelms let me put a block of 21 white lines in special, and I just like the idea of having a cavalry Death Star with Tyrion in the front because he displaces 2 models. So my one-up rerollable noble means that it's going to be really, really tough to take them down and get to the characters, get to the mages. And then a block of white lines is it's an okay support block. I mean, it's all right, you know.
It's not a
gonna
lion
win.
chariot.
Yeah, it's no lion chariot, but I mean, 21 white lions sitting next to the cavalry Death Star. I hear it's good.
Yeah.
So that's one route I want to try. The other thing I want to try is actually using Swordmasters as my chaff units, putting 3 either 5-man unit or 7-man unit in there. I mean, it's only 13 points a model, so that's 65 points for a 5-man unit that's strength 5, always strike first, so, you know, striking initiative. I mean, that 2 attack seats, that's a lot of damage output. People have to fear it. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad that I don't live in that town anymore. Mostly because I'm playing Dark Elves, and I really don't want to fight a race war every time that we have to fight.
No, that wouldn't be good.
No es bueno.
Especially Fiery Convocation.
Nobody likes Fiery Convocation.
No, but elves like it least. Elves and humans hate it.
I think skinks would like it the least. The leastest.
A skink cloud. Oh, that would be fun.
Zombies would if they had emotions.
Oh man, vampire counts. I played that guy that had 7 units of direwolves and a big unit of crypt ghouls, and I was like, why don't you just have your entire core as direwolves? I mean, what do you have a crypt ghoul war for?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even have a standard. So, you know, I was thinking at first, oh, he's using them for like to capture table quarters or something. But they didn't even have a standard, so I was like, why not break them into skeletons that have standards and then add more direwolves with the difference? Like, you're already 7 units of direwolves in. Let's just go whole hog here and just get all of the direwolves.
That's nuts. None of them cause panic. One still does the job of 5.
Yep. I don't know.
Well, Matt, with you, you're going to Gigabytes, right, in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, we have Gigabytes has a tournament, and they're only like 20 minutes away, so I'm going to go. I think I'm going to try and drag Yoshi. I was actually trying to drag other people, but most other people don't like me, and so they won't come up here. It's because I'm a bad sport. It's the whole bad sport thing all over again.
If I didn't already have plans that Sunday, I'd be there with high elves.
Well, anyway, what I was going to say is, what are you going to bring for the tournament?
You know, I was talking with Yoshi about this on Sunday, and it's really probably going to be Orcs and Goblins because they are painted and I have all the models. Like, if for some reason I can actually get all the models done like I think I can towards the end of this weekend, and I can, you know, even if I do that, I still have paint on like one chariot. I've painted a chariot, I've painted a Charybdis, I've painted a Hydra, and I have one character painted, and I think that's it out of that list. Oh, I have some Corsairs painted, but they're the wrong kind of Corsairs. So yeah, I have like 4 models painted out of the entire army. So I would feel kind of bad about it. So I may take just Orcs and Goblins and wog it up.
Oh, hey, and you need all your characters too, right? Your mounted guys?
Yeah. Oh, and I also am missing some cav bases. I need 5 for the unit of Dark Riders I need 5 for the Dark Riders that I'm making, and I need 4 for the character, 4 for the characters that I'm kit bashing together as well. So it'd be pretty interesting it'd be difficult to run that list, and I would feel bad having not even a third of my army painted, you know, just kind of rolling in with like primer on everything, like, yeah, this is me, I'm gonna beat your butt, I hope you enjoy that. So I don't know.
I think you should bring Dark Elves just because you should. If that's a list you're thinking about for Grail Quest, the more practice, the better.
I don't know. about how they're doing. I don't actually know what the points value are. It may actually be less than 2,500. It may be 3,000. But the other issue too is GrowQuest is a long time off, and if people haven't learned this yet about me, I'm really fickle, and so by the time GrowQuest shows up, I may not be on the monster kick anymore anyway. That's one of the things I like about the monster list. You know, I have 2 Hydras. I have the Charybdis already. I had 3 Chariots already because I like Chariots. But as far as, I'm buying Dark Riders essentially for the rest of the army. Well, I already wanted Dark Riders. You know, I didn't own any, so buying, 20 Dark Riders doesn't hurt my feelings. I'll probably field 20 Dark Riders in most of my lists.
Yeah.
So I could, however, take Dark Elves and just not take that list. I could take the list I thought about taking to Brawler Bash and take the Morathi and the Double Tower list, because in that list, essentially the only thing that's not painted is the 2 towers.
Stupid Dark Elves.
Plus, it would make me feel better if I actually won with Dark Elves and then bought Dark Elf stuff. Yeah,
Sure.
Like it would be more continuity there. Yoshi, are you gonna go to that one?
Hell yeah, man.
All right, groovy.
I'll fight Casey first round and avenge Dallas.
Please do. I've got 3 butt kickings I need you to avenge for me.
I tried. I was really sad. I know that we're kind of derping right now, but back to when you were saying that you fought Casey first round and that was your toughest matchup. I'm really, really kind of frustrated that I didn't get to fight Casey 5th round, like the pairings sort of suggested. Somebody must have already. I think actually the 2 people that were on table 1 had fought on like game 3, and so they couldn't fight again. And I think that's why I didn't actually get Casey. And Casey's a great guy. Everybody I've talked to has really enjoyed playing him. Maybe not the butt kicking that they've received.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
But they've enjoyed playing him. And Troll hordes. First of all, want to get in my face. This isn't vampire counts, flying in circles around me and screaming all my stuff off. This is Warriors of Chaos. They're coming to me. Second of all, I've already faced troll hordes much larger than the 2 units of 8 plus Throg. Grimgore's units got this, and so I was like, well, I actually was really confident. I was like, oh man, if I'm fighting Casey, even if I lose, I'm gonna get so many points. Like, I'm just going to push stuff forward and eat those troll units and eat up Throg and just take it. If I lose and I get 4,000 victory points or whatever, I don't care. And so I'm sad that I didn't, because I only got like 1,700 off that last one. But more importantly, I failed to avenge Dallas. Look at that beard. That is the beard of a sad man.
It soaks up all my tears.
Oh, insert newlywed joke. Since Dallas recently got married, I'm going to make a joke about that too. That's why he's crying.
So what do we got coming up? We got the Gigabytes tournament.
You guys got something too, right? You and Dallas?
Yeah, well, we got we're planning a Bromance tournament. It's a small one. Thinking end of July. And it's actually going to be, it's really looking like it's going to be a doubles. And I think we have some unique ways of doing it, so it's not going to be that crappy, oh no, Dark Elves and High Elves got paired together, now all of a sudden we hate each other and can't use each other's stuff. That kind of sucks. So we're going to do some things, I think, that'll make it fun and be a little unique and still give everybody a chance to have some fun.
Okay, cool. After the one at Giga, I know that they do some stuff semi-regularly. We'll probably actually get at least one more in before GrowQuest or Redstone Rumble. I know some of us were talking about maybe even trying to hit up Redstone and GrowQuest. They're about, 6 weeks apart, 7 weeks apart?
Oh.
So with adequate planning and budgeting, we might actually be able to make that work. Those of us that don't have ginormous families. Jody.
Actually, I won't be going to GrowQuest or anything this fall because if I can sell my house, and moved to Illinois.
You're mispronouncing Atlanta again.
I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll move up there in the next 2 months and have the budget to come back down, but unlikely at this time.
Gotcha. Well,
we're real close to Buckeye Battle, Jody. Isn't that in Ohio?
Yeah.
Yeah. How close are you to Ohio?
I am only 11 hours from Ohio. You know.
Oh, so you're in like Western
Yeah,
Illinois?
I'm in northwestern Illinois.
Oh, northwest.
But I mean, I know there's a game shop in Rockford about an hour away, and I actually know there's some gaming groups in Illinois. There's some podcasts. So.
Okay, very cool. Well, we've been on for about an hour. That's about as long as I want to keep it, I guess. I know people have things to do. So just want to. I notice nobody's watching, but I want to thank the people that are going to watch once we put it up on YouTube and enjoy us just kind of chatting. Maybe to that was my phone telling me it's done being charged. Getting have some fun listening to us chat and whatnot while you're painting. And next time, hopefully, I'll have I'll post it beforehand, and we'll have the ability to answer questions that people are posing live. So thanks for watching, guys. This is Matt. Landon was here. There's Jody, Dallas, and Yoshi for Bromance Wargaming, and we'll get to you next week.